It's the winter time. We're not going to go in the pool.
Mommy, it's not winter. I want to go in the pool.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I thought what better way to bring in the Friday than to come on live and try to get some kind of motivation going. No. So here I am. Today, instead of a ruler, I'm going to use a tape measure, which I kind of like. Sometimes this tape measure has the, good morning, has the little percentages that I can't seem to think of right now. I also have my ring mandrel because guess what? I think I'm going to list some stuff on, I'm going to list some of my handmade stuff on here. So, let's go ahead and get started. I've got my little guy here. I'm gonna go ahead and move my blender. It's just hard water. It's clean. And go ahead and turn this over here. Okay. That's the. All right, here we are. Hello. Okay, so don't mind we recycle. It's part of the very good stuff. Okay, so this is one that I was really excited about when I unboxed. So it's really important that even though you think an item may be just resin, always try to do an amber check because this is amber. And I tried selling it on YouTube. I think that's probably one of the first places that I try to sell an item. But this one's really nice. So obviously things to consider when you're listing something like this. Memory wire would be a key word. Try to look up the different kinds of amber and try to use those keywords. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. So another thing that I get questions a lot of is how does my Etsy look? What do you think about my Etsy? For me, you want to have consistency. It's just a plate up against my platter here. Switching everything aside. I have you guys higher up this time on my, had to lower it. I have just got so many things to list. It's unbelievable. I really needed this time to get myself together. So, like I was saying, consistency. This is where I set up. This is how I have my space. I always have my little cake pan here, and stay consistent. So, like if I show you my my Etsy right now, I go to my listings here. You can see consistently, I either have things where my hand is in the picture, or I have it on the bust, or you see the white background. So it's not something that your eyes, it's kind of comfortable to look at. You don't want to see just a ginormous contrast. When people look, it's all about aesthetics sometimes, really. So I just have to say, stay consistent. And see these pictures where I have them so up close here. Get as close as you can. Don't give anyone an excuse to say this is not what this looked like. So I've got about 55% battery. It's 11 a.m. over here in the CA. And let's go ahead and get some pictures. Hey, Carly, good morning. So I find too that the zoom in is best. And, let people know if you don't know how to test amber, or if it showed up on a black light, the color of amber, which would turn green, whether you take it into a jeweler, whether you had someone authenticate it, note that when you're listing it, to give the buyer assurance of what they're getting when they purchase, especially a big ticket item such as this. Low end, I would say I would probably list this for 85. High end, just depends on comps. So just to give everyone an idea. So I try to, Etsy gives you kind of a really nice layout. They want you to always have like little currency over here as well. It's like a nickel, okay? Something in reference to. So you have an idea. Also going to take the diameter. So I tend to start the ruler on the inside as opposed to the outside. And of course, since it's memory wire, I'll go ahead and note that. And even sometimes people will request it shown on the wrist. I've had a few times where I've had to, hey, Jennifer, I've had to take pictures of what it looks like on the wrist. So I'll do that as well. And then sometimes when I'm feeling really fancy, or if it's like a higher end item, like something that's composed of sterling silver, get your weight, your scale out. People like to see how much the item's going to weigh. And if you have a caliper, take and measure the individual beads. That's also a good one too. And then I go ahead and I stick it, and I talk about this all the time, but I have an empty Cascade, and it has the smell of still the Dawn or dish soap, and it's always a pleasant smell. So I stick it in there to neutralize or attempt to neutralize any odors. All right, enough about the recycling over there. Okay. Another thing that does really well for me is vintage items. I get questions like, does it have to be a vintage item for me to list on Etsy? No. I've listed some Carolyn Pollock. I've listed a bunch of things on Etsy. It doesn't necessarily have to be vintage. So this right here is a hook clasp. And one of the things you want to look for especially is if it's stamped Japan, Hong Kong, China. I don't see many China. I don't think that, I don't know. But yeah, here we go. So the vintage pieces, a lot of people use them for displays. It's a shorter one, the variety of color. And I like to get right up in there. Okay, side shot, extender shot, and shot of the upside down hook here. And then if you have like a little routine going where you have that and then you have your ruler set up or something, it should make taking pictures a breeze. And then the last thing I do is I like to kind of crumble it up in my hand here and get it in there. And so that's the last picture that I have. And that's probably will be the cover shot of this, because that way people can really see the different speckles on that. So into the Cascade it goes. I hope so. I just, sometimes it has an interesting smell. This is a really cool find. This one right here says United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. On the back it says justice, equality, and diversity. It is on like a waxed leather cord that has a bit of wear on it, but I say it all the time, but nostalgia sells. List everything, even if you don't. Do you know, lately, the last couple of sales I've gotten, and I would show you, but I just shipped it off this morning. Literally small brooches. Let me show you guys a picture of what I'm talking about. Small brooches. Do you think, oh, okay, like you've seen them in YouTube auctions going for like $1? Pick them up. Goodwill's unique smell. Yeah, exactly. So let me go ahead and show you guys. Well, maybe not. Oh, wait, I know I could do. Just kidding. So this guy I sold for $12, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot. If you consider that this is a tiny strawberry mouse. Look at how small it is. In my hand, literally covering 2 fingers, 3 at the most. $12. Okay? And that's not the first tiny little brooch that I sold. You believe that? Like, you never know what's going to sell. So, what? No, well, I was showing what I did sell. Just to give an idea. List everything. If you can. I mean, if it's in your ability to. Went to full allergy mode in antique Goodwills. You know, luckily with this whole mask thing, keeping my mask on kind of mutes the smells a little bit. The only thing I really have to worry about is if I take my kids with me. But a lot of times if we go on like a sourcing run, you know, my husband's usually with me and I just keep the kids in the car. That way I can just do a quick run in too. So, but to be honest with you, I really do not need to source. I have like 2 ginormous buckets that I need to just list. And then a third one with hard goods. Hey, Scooter. So there's that one. And yeah, here we go. Another name that you may have heard, but to look out for is Mylor. This is a Mylor, just a bracelet with a magnetic clasp. Mylor is a vintage brand. This one happens to say bronze, Mylor, Italy. A lot of times that'll say silver. Mylor sometimes is silver plated. Mylor sometimes is sterling silver. But Mylor is a great vintage brand to be on the lookout for. Just a little heads up on that one. Put the nickel in there. And I unclasp them when I'm showing it too to give an idea. I really like to show the clasps to give an idea of what people are getting into. And of course the tag here. And I also want to take this time, and I have 9 souls in here. Thank you so much for reaching out and sending your condolences my way. I did lose my grandma the other day, but for those of you who may already know, my grandma was battling Alzheimer's, and she passed. And that is my mom and my family and I were very happy that she is no longer suffering. We're sad for her loss, but again, just very, very glad that she is no longer suffering. So I just want to thank everybody who took the time out of their busy schedule to give me your condolences. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. So I'm just trying to take the positive route on that one. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Really appreciate it. Alzheimer's is terrible. Ugh. Don't wish it on anybody's family member. It's magnetic. It's making it difficult. Ah! Mum. Letter. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Like I said, just glad she's no longer suffering. Another thing that I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'll list. I don't, whatever is gold-filled items, guys, gold-filled items. You think, because they're gold-filled, they're not gonna. May I ask how long she battled? Oh, golly. She started showing symptoms when I was pregnant with my daughter. So 3 years. She was in her 80s. I'm in my 9th year with my mom. Oh, Scooter. Yeah, man, like, it's funny how in-depth you become when someone has, it's not funny, but my mom and I try to use humor to mask all the pain, I suppose. But how knowledgeable you become in a disease when a family member is suffering from it. We had hoped, at first we were in complete denial. I'm sure, much like everybody is, like, she's just having a bad day, or, whatever. But as it started to get more and more noticeable,
Then there was no denying it.
Yeah, there was no denying it. It's, my mom was 74. Yeah. I understand that when a person's diagnosed in their 60s, they tend to battle it longer. And that anything older than that, it tends to take them quicker. But I guess it really just depends. But it's tiny seizures that happen that kill the memory cells in your brain. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It's horrible. And it's kind of like my mom's uncle passed for it. My great uncle, which would be my grandmother's brother, passed from it. My grandmother's mother passed from it. My grandmother passed from it. And you kind of think sometimes, am I next? Like, you forget something and you're like, you go into a room and you do the normal, like, what did I come in this room for? Oh no, like, it's not good. I believe what Alzheimer's is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Alzheimer's is micro seizures that happen in the brain that kills the nerves to the brain cells. She didn't have seizures that I know of. And yeah, at first they thought she had Lewy body dementia, which causes you to kind of sidestep more often. You lose your motor functions sooner than your actual memory loss. But my grandma was never really steady on her feet anyway. And they can't diagnose Alzheimer's unless there's an autopsy, from my understanding. But like I said, I am not a doctor. I did tons of research because my mom and I dove into it like hardcore when we found out, because we needed to understand. When Sundowner started happening for her, man, we just became engulfed. It took over our lives, obviously. She was a matriarch of our family. It's a really humongous deal for us. But yeah, exactly. So wow, yeah. It's crazy. It's wild how, and I mean, please just take the words that I use not to be insensitive, but when I say it's wild, I mean it's absolutely insane how fast it happened for my grandma. She was quick. She would know, she'd be able to tell you something and you're like, dang, grandma, like, I don't know. And then this happened, and it happened so quick. It's just crazy. Anyways, like I said, I'm glad she's no longer suffering. Yeah. She would get out. Oh, wow. Yeah. Towards the end. She had a dog. And she kept on saying, I want to take my dog out. I want to take my dog on walks. I want to do them, you're like, no, don't. So she would always kind of make those kind of threats. So like for a while we thought grandma's messing with us. Like grandma's legit joking with us. Like this is a big old, like this is her. I don't know. It's just the things she do that was really out of her character. But my grandma, she didn't She didn't walk away. She didn't run away. I guess my great-grandmother was very combative. So they did have to put my great-grandmother in a home because at one point the police were called and they were unfit to care for my great-grandmother. Yeah. My grandmother had it, but later in life, yeah. Exactly. I know, Scooter. I know. I think my mom kind of, I think we all, like I said, we're all kind of a little bit paranoid, I suppose, because the line of it, how it follows down, absolutely nuts. It's crazy. But, like you said, you're doing exactly right. Making as many memories, living in the present. Just all of this. When we first kind of thought about her possibly having Alzheimer's, it really made me question my mortality. I was pregnant with my daughter. And like the transition of becoming a mom and then just all of it with my grandma, it was nuts, man. Like, it's crazy. It's just absolutely bonkers. But yeah. Such is life. This is another, I'm going to test this one out. This is a mud pie. I've only ever had mud pie like accessories. Mud pie. So this is actually like resin, and it's a little could dust with it or something. I'm not really. Oh, just kidding! I broke it. Oh, jeez. Well, better on me than anybody else. Jeez. I hulked out a bracelet the other day. And my mom's like, why did you do that? Like, she was like upset with me. And I was like, Mom, I didn't do it on purpose. I just put it on my wrist. And I'm like, rather it happened to me than to anybody else. I do that quite often, to be honest, but I'm not a gentle giant. I'm a rough Gus, I suppose. This is the Chico's OBS. Chico's is a good reselling brand. Chico's is one that I would not list on Etsy. I would list this Chico's necklace on eBay as opposed to Etsy. So that's J. Crew is another one of those that I would list on eBay as opposed to Etsy as well. What in the dickens happened here? So I gotta figure out, because this has like this jump ring here. It may have tried to make it look at, there we go, as presentable as possible here. When they have teeny tiny little holes, see, like this did the same thing. And what I mean by holes is not holes, but actually like in the jump rings, there's some gap in the metal and cause it to look funny. But Chico's is a great reselling brand, especially when it has natural stones, in my opinion. Good morning, Hope. Good morning, good morning. And I always take a picture with the extender fully extended here on the back. That way people can have an idea. And when I do my measurements, I provide measurements of the total length. Yeah. It felt like once she started, I mean, I'm just going to put it very plainly, but once she started not acting like herself, it was almost like the morning began with her, like looking for her for that comfort and not being able to get it because she was sick. I'm not saying it made her loss any easier, but more so than grief, I'm just happy that she's no longer dealing with any of that. But it was probably a week ago, we got a text message from the people who were caring for her and saying she had stopped she had stopped wanting to eat or drink. And they said, you know, if you wanted to talk to her, now would be the time. And it's like, you know, you have to sit there and wonder. And I had no doubt in my mind that I didn't say anything to her that I ever wanted to say. No doubt. So, hey, Viv. You and Ashley make a good team, Viv. I was watching you guys yesterday. And also with pendants, I guess I should add, is that I always take the dimension of the pendants and I tend to put the ruler over the item as opposed to underneath. That way people can really see what they're getting. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly, Carly. Exactly. But it is what it is. Yeah, but it's, and my family too, you know, we have a saying that says, you know, tomorrow's a new day. And after that day, when we found out, man, you know, just the overwhelming thankfulness. It's just, it still kind of feels unreal a little bit. Like after my mom called and told me, I had to call her a couple hours later and be like, did that really happen, Mom? Because it doesn't feel like it really happened. Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you, Viv. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate everyone's kindness. All right, this is a really cool one. Hey, Susie Woozy. My mom originally had thought that this was a Betsy Johnson, but I don't, definitely doesn't say Betsy Johnson or anything. It's just a costume piece, but it's unique and it's interesting, and it does and looks like there's less fringe on this side as opposed to this side. And when I take the picture, I'm just going to go ahead and state that. But the main thing that I'm kind of wanting to take from this is that the pendant is wicked cool. So mostly going to list it as like a craft item. It's not missing any rhinestones, which is great. But it is missing a bit of fringe. And honestly, guys, I just don't have the time to go in and find some gold tone colored fringe. Oh, yeah, you know. So honestly, I feel like this is too cool for me to just junk it in the craft bin because of how dope it is. But anyway, so here we go. We'll see how it goes. And I'll probably take a low price on this, but this did come in a lot. So, and you know, that's another thing. When I'm buying and purchasing a lot, to justify it, I feel like I have to find a couple of items that I'm going to be able to make my money back. And anything else is, you know, extra cheese on the taco, which is just great. But it's something to consider, making your money back and still getting profit on the box that you receive. So got to figure how many items are you getting, how are you going to list it for, things along those lines. You ever sit there and start talking and you're like, oh, I have a coffee ground in my teeth. Did you guys watch The Masked Singer? Ugh. I say that and I'm like, watched every episode like a total doofus. Hey, Toilet Girl. Yeah, it's extra cheese on taco. Which would be something gross in a sense if you use it in, you know, wrong format. It's, I don't know. The first season of The Masked Singer was good. Everything else is, it's not that good. No, I don't give spoilers. No. Loved that one. You have it recorded? Yeah, loved it. Loved it. That one, the first performance of the first season, you can't go back from that. You know what I mean? My husband and I used to talk about it. I won't tell you the winner. I'm good. How are you? Hanging in there. Fat and sassy. You know, the usual. Sometimes I wonder, I put things in my bucket and I'm like, how did this get in here?
Yeah, sometimes I chuck stuff in there that I don't know what to do with.
Nice.
Find it on the floor, finding it.
Nice. This one is a good one. This happens to be malachite. These are little malachite beads all strung together and kind of like, it's a cool one, like a fidgety kind of thing. Very cool. But these are all malachite beads and I believe onyx. And the clasps just says Korea, which is pretty cool. But that's a fun one. Someone had, put that all together. Made it real cool. And I can tell when something is genuine malachite. Matches my nails. Yeah, I really am drawn towards this color. You want to check for the weight. Malachite is a very dense stone. This is heavy. This is, it is what it is. If a pattern of malachite seems too visually satisfying, then chances are it may not be true authentic malachite. You want to look for the variation in color. You want to look for the lines. You want to see, the dark to light green. And of course, the main thing is testing the hardness of it and the weight. So this is a good one. Plus, malachite sells really well for me. It is an expensive stone, so price it accordingly if you do happen to get a chance to get your hands on some. I sell the big necklaces that are about 18 to 20 inches for about $45 to $47, and that's free shipping on my Etsy. Sometimes every once and again I'll get a eBay sale for malachite, but far and few between. Anyways, malachite. I come over here and I start sweating and I'm like, why am I so sweaty? It's because I'm right underneath the heater. The heater's like right there. Okay. So another thing too is I'm like, take the time and single out screwback earrings. They sell, especially if they have names on them. Especially Coro, Napier, Kremens, Monet, any of those. Yeah, check your prices. That's the one thing, and I try to be as honest as possible. That's the one thing about YouTube. It's great for fast money. Like, you want to get rid of stuff, a lot of bulk costume, you don't want to single it out. I understand. But if you can, and if you have the ability, take the time to do comps on these items, man, because sometimes it gets you a pretty penny. And like I said, I try to do as much as I can to show each and every angle of the item so you know exactly what you're getting when you get it. That's my thing. I don't want anyone to be like, well, in the light, it looked like a No. Not me. Not this girl. That's a pretty one. They're like air climbers. I've seen people like on Etsy, like take photos with the piece on, and I'm like, I don't think anyone wants to see my busted face right now wearing these really pretty earrings. Can you imagine? Anyway, they're pretty. They are very clean on the back. They do not have a name, a brand, but they are vintage. Stunning. Read. Something's jangling in here. Sometimes, like I said, I pull things out of here and I'm like, there's no way there's stuff in here. Well, that's genuine pearl. Oh, it's a good one. This is a man. Quite literally. And this is rolled gold over sterling. You have your 925 here. And guys, I should also say that there has been many a time where I've gotten a bracelet like this, like a tennis bracelet, and had the marking of the 925 there. And I tested it and it has not been sterling. So it just goes to show that it doesn't matter if the item states 925. It doesn't mean it is sterling silver. So test, 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 test. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. And it's cute because it's got the little hearts on the clamp, the big whale. Open up my curtain here. Get some more light in. La la la. Does anyone have any good weekend plans? Does anyone have any idea of what they're having for dinner tonight? I made pozole for the first time in my life the other day. Pork. It's really good in my opinion. My humble Caucasian opinion. Which I'm pretty certain that if you boiled a shoe in salsa and told me it was Mexican Hispanic meat, I'd eat it. It's not true. Please don't test me. This one happens to have a double safety clasp, which is really cool. But again, I have seen where there have been double safety clasps, but still have not been sterling. So test, 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 test. And then I usually show it clasped. And Etsy's doing this thing now where you can post videos to your listings. I haven't done that yet. It's been pretty cool looking and checking for comps and then having someone have a video on it, and they've like been testing their silver on there, so you know you're getting your silver, which is really cool. It's not as hard to make. I think half of me was like, I don't want to make it because it's not going to turn out good, and then the other part of me was like, it's not going to be good, and maybe it's too difficult. But actually, I found it was quite easy. It just took time to boil, just like any other good soup. This one's another really pretty one. Pearls sell well. I tend to lowball pearls. Then I went to a seminar on jewelry photography. They said big companies would never show face with earrings. It's distracted. Oh, well, that's another reason why I don't show my face. Thanks, Susie. That's awesome. Very cool. How awesome. A seminar on jewelry photography? That's dope. I mean, what led you to that seminar, if you don't mind explaining that? That's very interesting. Cool. I've seen people have, and I mean, I've considered getting myself one of them white boxes, or I'm not certain what they're called, to take photos, but honestly, it's just, I don't know. It seems like a lot anyway. And when I can get the chance to take pictures, I usually do. And I don't want to take out a whole bunch of everything. I just want to take pictures out on a whim. So this one is, that was you went to jewelry school in the 90s? What? Did that, I mean, you don't have, I don't want figures or numbers, but did that cost you an arm and a leg? college credits. That's nuts, though. That's seriously cool. Was it like you literally went to jewelry school, or was it like a Yelp? This one's really pretty. This one is sterling. This one does have the really pretty like Figaro chain. One moment as I'm trying to figure out why my computer is all... There we go. Don't look at the cans, okay? We recycle. Where did the necklace go? Oh, right here. Just kidding. This one, also all of these little beads in between here. I first took classes at a Y. Then I went to college and got a... What? Susie, woozy, that's next level cool. Probably would probably ask between 65 and 85 for a necklace like this, depending. These are all genuine pearls with the potato pearl and all sterling silver findings with the sterling silver clasp. You know, that kind of thing. And probably if I were to put it on YouTube, I'd probably ask anywhere between 28 and 32, which, you know, yeah, fast money if it sells. But, you know, sometimes it's nice to wait it out.
Mom,
Yo, girl. Huh?
I want to swim on the pool.
Baby, I wasn't really talking about a pool, honey. With this huge piece of petrified wood, I'm considering listing. Nice. This is another one that this is one that I have. This is glass. This is a sterling silver findings. And this one, it does have the breast cancer. It does actually say breast cancer and 925 on there. So this one will be listing. Did you just do it all by yourself? Do what? Hey, could you get off my shirt? Thanks.
But it's because it's stuck.
It's stuck? Well, it's stuck on my body because that's why we wear shirts. To cover up. Solder, did you ever take a class? No, I didn't. You know, ironically, I had signed up for a class right before the pandemic hit. Oh, thank you, Susie. Gosh, I have a lot of learning to do. That is a big old 10-4. But I appreciate everyone's kindness for sure. No, I had actually signed up for the class and then it got canceled because of the pandemic. And then I just started doing some more like learning. So literally my classes have been YouTube. I've watched, like logged a whole crap ton of hours on YouTube. That is no joke. Straighten up. You took private lessons? Someone on Facebook Market in or around my area was showing their studio. And I messaged them and I was like, hey, I'm really curious about silversmithing. Would you be interested in taking an apprentice? And never heard back from them. I mean, I was desperate at that point. I really wanted to, really wanted to learn. But I decided to take it in my own hands and just go nuts. So. But it's been, man, it took me, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought I was all talk for a while because I had talked about it and hadn't had the chance to do it. Because it, it's costly. I'm sure everyone understands. It's costly to get the stuff, the right stuff that's gonna, Anyways, so finally I got out there and did that. It took me a while. Yeah. I mean, they have classes. Like I mentioned, they have classes at the junior college, and you can take them during the summer part of it. The summer classes, so you don't have to be enrolled in it. You don't have to be enrolled, which is awesome. But like I said, they stopped doing it. It is what it is. But soundtrack today, and brought to you by one of my kids' toys. Yeah, I've found that it's been really awesome to get out there. Hey, Anna, to get out there and be creative. Especially I don't have an outlet. Being a mom, that's what I've got. This is my outlet technically. So it's been really nice going out there and being able to do stuff. Yeah, really though. Everyone's like, when are you gonna start melting down silver? And I'm like, that's stuff that I don't have the ability to do. That takes some pretty expensive equipment. I wish. My mom's like, you can do it. You just have to do it. I'm like, Mom, no. There's a little bit more than that. So I'm trying to find the stuff in the bottom that I've put in here and I've had in here for a while. This one is a Sarah Coventry. It's all resin. It's stuck on everything else. So this is just a resin, but you never know. Yes, rolling mills are expensive. Rolling mills to get an oxyacetylene torch, man, oh man, expensive stuff. I'm just happy that I ended up getting a torch in the setup that I have now. A lot of the vices that I have, they're all they're secondhand and bought them at a flea market or whatever. Hey, get out of there. So anyways, there's nothing wrong with the tools. Even some tweezers I've bought and some stuff I've bought secondhand. Mama. I used to keep taking classes to use their tools exactly. Yeah. Then some of the teachers would let me be there. Yeah, heck yeah. Hydraulic press at Harbor Freight. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can get at Harbor Freight. It's just gotta have some cheddar, which I don't have for that extra cheddar. I think I keep on trying to convince myself that maybe if I get a little extra that I would buy a Presidium gem tester, but I'm debating the heck out of that. I really don't know. A lot of people who have bought it really don't say that it's worth it. But they said it's worth it to know the difference between glass and stone, which is always nice. But sometimes I can look under a loupe and kind of be able to tell the difference. I don't know. That's a lot of money. Anyways, the stone that I have the hardest time differentiating between is turquoise and dyed howlite. And of course, on the Mohs scale, there's a humongous difference. But, if I have a piece, like this, like I can look at it and I can see, oh, okay, this is dyed howlite. But then you see a piece of like a certain kind of turquoise, and some turquoise has some white inclusions in it. So you're like, okay, I can never tell. But I just take it one thing at a time. It's basically the queen. I honestly think they can't tell enough. All right, and this one, another pearl. See, I tend to, like I said, group all, whack it with a hammer. Well, it won't sell really well if it's in crumbs. I tend to sell a lot of my pearls and such on eBay and Etsy because I just kind of give them away on my YouTube because I'm not a pearl girl. It's just some things, some people don't like the color green. Some people don't like celery like me. Used it to do a lot of inlay. Yeah, I haven't got that far yet. I did a prong setting piece and I'm just working on getting, I honestly think they can't tell enough, those gem testers. Yeah, I'm trying to get this tag off here, the $20 tag. These are like little potato pearls, and this is a gold-filled clasp, and clasp is really pinched. You can't give a pearl away. It sells online, man. Sells online. I sold I sold my weight in pearls online. Just can't sell them at auctions, man. No one wants them. I think pearls are kind of a personal thing. I think sometimes it's a rite of passage. I think sometimes, whatever. But that's where they do good for me. So maybe you can sell them online. Light boxes. That's what it's called. Light boxes. You love pearls, see? I'm a little partial, and that's impartial. And that's another thing. And also, when you see these, like, I call these pinch slide clasps, and I know that's not the correct terminology for clasp, but you always want to check the inside of the sandwich on here. Buy it now videos work for you on pearls? Good for you, Scooter. I can't. Always want to check the meat part of the sandwich. This one in particular has a stamp that says 14 karat gold filled. So definitely check that. Sometimes it's really easy to pass off. We were taking photos, by the way, for craft shows and galleries. We didn't do eBay in the tube. Call them box. Box, yeah, it's a box clasp. I'm always like the doohickey, the thingy do, the diddly do, the quadrawapple wapple, whatever. So thanks, box clasp. I knew that, sort of. The light box, but I use photo room apps so much now, I don't have to use my light box. Yeah. I just, I think, like I said, with me, when I'm wanting to take pictures on a whim, it's hard for me to drag all this stuff out. I gotta take a picture of this. Dominoes. Let's go. So teeny tiny. This is so tiny. All right. That one's good. Okay. And then, of course, what I like to do is put it up in my hand and get in there. So people have literally no excuse. Look at it. Buy it. Maybe. Think about it sometimes. And sometimes I will put stuff aside in here and I'll change my mind and I'll put it in a lot. So, I'm like, I don't got time for that. I don't want to deal with it. I don't like it. You bought pearls for me? Hey, well, I mean, they're not doo-doo, I'll tell you that. I just can't with pearls. I just, they don't tickle my pickle. See, this is another one. You look at the sandwich, you look at the meat part of the sandwich of the box clasp, and it says sterling. Another place to look would be the little fork part of the box clasp. Oh my gosh, I gotta show everybody. The other day I pulled out of a box where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oops. I dropped something. Look. Pulled it right out of the box. Has a box clasp. The box clasp says 14K. And these are jade. You're wearing them today? Oh, awesome. So look at how long. This is like yummy. La, 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 la. It says it right there. The little fork part of it. So something to definitely be mindful of when you're looking. Because the sandwich part, the meat of this one is a little bit, like you could see through it on the box clasp. Whereas on this one right here, college fund. Yeah. On this one, you can see it's like a bar. Watch Devin for 15 minutes. Try to wrangle these pieces together to show the difference. Yep, gonna give that one up. All right, here we go. And my mom always told me if you're going to take pictures, take it in front of an east-facing window. That way you get the most and best light, natural light. But of course, if you have like a light box or something, that doesn't really apply to you. Just telling you. How much for the jade? You know what? I haven't priced it yet, but I'm thinking, because, really, it's nice to have the 14 karat clasp, but really, the only thing you have is that little box clasp 14 karat. So I don't know. Those balls are pretty big. I sold, excuse me. I sold a similar shorter necklace. The balls were larger, and I sold it for, I think, $90. And that was on Etsy. So I don't know. I'm going to have to do some comps because that was a long one. Focus, my darling. Jade's a tricky one sometimes. Jade would be a great one to have a gem tester for. Blippi! Because you'd be able to tell right away. Yeah. It's exciting. The thrill of the hunt. Like, that's my favorite part, is being a detective about it all. And in fact, I was telling someone the other day, like, I don't get like emotionally attached to jewelry. Jade bangle, too, man, that was a really good lot that I had the other day. And I was like, I'm not going to film it because I'm not going to get anything good. And I ended up pulling that one out immediately. I almost shat myself. And then I pulled this out too. Jade bangle. Can you believe that? So not only, I just can't. Lots of jade. Yeah, the prices are definitely all over. But yeah, I ended up getting this in there. Scrumptious. And when I test my jade, I take a back of an earring post back and I scratch it. Scratch it. If it leaves a mark, then I know it's not jade. If it doesn't, then that's the first step in telling if it's jade. Final step is taking to my jeweler and I say, hey, do I have this right? I'm sure that guy hates me, but he's always very nice. He wears his little magnifying hat thing. Those things that you, like the visor or something. Anyway, he's a cool dude. I like him a lot. There's always a guy in the back, and he's got his workshop, and he's got like his bench, and he's doing it. And I was like, can I just stand back and watch him? Can you just let me go back there? Is he taking an apprentice? Can I just talk to him? What's his breath smell like? No, I don't say that, because that's weird. Yeah, that's one of the ways. And that's, man, I've spent, like I said, I've spent so much time looking up certain things that I'm like, it's like when you're in school and before you get a car and you walk everywhere and you really fit and you're really in shape, sort of. And then you get a car and you start walking a lot less and you still eat the same, and it doesn't end up being good. I'm afraid basically that it's like buying a car. I'm afraid I'm going to be able to lose my touch if I get a proscenium gem tester. So. Thanks, Kim. I try. Oops. All right, here we go. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to check comps. Good gravy. Naughty. Check comps. This I do believe is jade as well. This one I do either. There's some red in it, which is really cool. I'm gonna have to look up the different kinds, but I did do my scratch test on that. So it's just is what it is. I'm gonna try to see if I can't pull some stuff out for easy access on picture taking. So just keep on running into a whole bunch of stuff. Avon is kind of like meh. Sometimes it's a good seller, sometimes it's not. It just depends. Like this one, what is this one? It's an Avon. Yeah, I'll take a picture of that later because I literally cannot. And I always take my gold to my jeweler because I cannot test for the life of me gold. I have the hardest time. And I don't know why that's so difficult for me. It just is. So that's what happens with my gold. So if you know you're getting gold, it's been verified by a jeweler from me. I literally cannot. Another thing that's been selling for me really well is sweater clips. Who'd have thunk it, huh? Sweater clips. So don't just toss them in a lot, guys. Price them out. Sweater clips. Avon hasn't sold for me at all. Yeah, it's very hit or miss. Very hit or miss. Sometimes your almost better bet is to bunch it all together. So this one right here is a teeny tiny little Monet. This is stuff. Glass, natural stone. Does he? No, he does not. I should also mention too that I get stuff from him, like as far as my silver testing acid. I buy things for soldering there. Like he has charcoal blocks, he has soldering picks, he has solder there. So whenever I go in, I usually have an accumulation of items, and I usually will purchase something so that at least I'm doing that. I hope that makes sense. So sometimes I go in there just like on a whim, and I can't purchase anything that day, but I try to have a good rapport with them. So Monet ends up being okay to sell sometimes. Napier is good to sell sometimes. Trifari seems to be banging. Trifari's always banging for me. So if you can find a Trifari piece, don't nickel and dine it on the YouTube auctions, man. List it. You never know. These were ones that I think my mom ended up getting from a lot. These are ceramic, and I think they're either a reproduction, they're painted double-sided here, but they're native inspired. I'll have to do some more research in regards to the markings on here. There's no maker's mark or any indication of origin on here, so I'm thinking it's just a reproduction. But nevertheless, sometimes people look for reproductions as far as like squash blossoms, things along those lines. People really look for them. They can't afford the real deal. Who can sometimes, unless it's gifted to you for whatever reason. There's a guy at the flea market. He sells those stunning squash blossom necklaces. And he's like, yeah, this is $2,000. I'm like, do you think I just carry around cold hard $2,000 in cash, dude? Like, and then I kicked myself. I was asking him, he's got some single earrings in there. And I was like, oh, hey, how much for a single earring? And he's like, oh, you know, this, and that, but I'm pretty sure I have the other one in here somewhere. I'm going to have to look for it. And I'm like, you know, these aren't, he was telling me all this is turquoise. I'm like, you know, this isn't turquoise, right? This is Larimar. And he's like, what's Larimar? And so I told him all about it. And then the next week I came back and I said, hey, did you find that other earring? He goes, no, but I'm going to have to charge you up for this earring because I found out what Larimar is because of you. And I'm like, dang it. So, well, what can you do? But yeah, I don't buy from that dude because he's expensive, but he's got nice stuff. But myself just listed Sarah Coventry and I'm getting interest, but they don't want to pay. Yeah, I get some of that sometimes. I don't take offense to it. I just relist it. Someone else will pay. I had these fish earrings. They didn't have a mark. They were gold tone and they were heavy. Someone had purchased them. And I give people an opportunity to pay. I give people a week because sometimes I'm in between and I need some time. Never a week though. But after probably a week, I cancel their invoice. And I'll do my due diligence and email them and be like, hey, you know, you want this or whatever? Because I cross post. So when someone takes an interest in one of my items, that means I have to go through and I have to delete the listings off of all the other platforms I sell on. So you know, it's a pain in the butt. But then I relisted them and probably a day or two later, I sold them. And someone paid immediately. Had a Sarah on for almost a year. Finally just sold it. Yeah. There's some stuff that's been like, that I'm like, this is going to go hecka fast. I know it. This is going to sell really well. And nope. It's been on there for a while. But some things that I'm like that brooch I showed earlier. Some things I'm so surprised sell. I can't believe it. Let's see if I can do this here. You have mine only on Poshmark? Yeah, Poshmark, that's how I first started. First started with Poshmark. Yep, that's the hangnail. That feels great. Yum, 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 yum. And that's okay, because I did a lot of my selling on Poshmark. Like when I was on there, Poshmark, and all I did was Poshmark, I did these deals where I did like 3 for $10, right? So like I'd have small things, like let's say I had like a bangle or whatever. I'll put on the listing 3 for $10. And so if they did a bundle, I was just charging the $10. That way I got rid of stuff and I sold stuff because people wanted a bundle and wanted to pay more. I don't remember how much I did, whether it was 3 for $10 or 3 for $15 or I don't know. But nevertheless, I did deals like that on Poshmark sometimes. I'd run like sales like that. But I haven't yet run a sale on eBay, but I've run several sales on my Etsy, especially during the holidays and Black Fridays. Oh, it's my finger. This is a really cool one. This is a solid copper, an arrowhead. No. Ah! What were you saying about watching the kids like?
Wait for 20 minutes.
He's got a stinky in there. I can smell it from literally walking past him.
Mm-hmm. He sure does. Who would have thought blinking for 20 minutes? This one.
Yeah, blinking for 20 minutes, a long 20 minutes. Have to give him business. I could not do this without my husband. So anytime I can jab him, I do. And I'm sure anyone who's been married understands the joy you get from jabbing your husband. Not literally, but I'm sure sometimes, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it physically, but mentally jabbing him, I mean, with jokes. So this is a fun one. This is glass. So it's a little bit on the heavier side. It does have like a artisan kind of clasp. Did I say that already? It has the cone shapes. And I don't think it has anything on here. I'm getting this from a lot, so I probably need to test it before I list it. And whoops, I'm divorced. Well, was introducing my dad called me the other day and yeah, he called me the other day. He's like, do you have CBS All Access? Do you have availability to it? I'm like, well, I don't have it, but I can get it on the Roku. And he's like, oh, we ended up purchasing it, the app. So you could use the same old. Anyways, we used to mooch off of him for cable, and then he canceled it. And so the other day was going to Costco, and they were asking, hey, who's your cable provider? What do you use? Do you have cable? And I said, I mooch off my parents. And she was like, all right, keep doing that. It's actually kind of funny. Oh, I'm sorry. I have been with the same person for 5 years. I'm engaged, but had to COVID cancel wedding. Boy, I know. That's what, what's her nugget? Steve Irwin's daughter did. They had like a COVID wedding. I don't know her personally. Honestly, Jenny and I joke. I say all the time, should have just eloped. should have just got married at City Hall, because literally, like, oh, yeesh. It's not. You're basically just throwing a party for everybody else, and that's just my humble opinion. If you would have told 2013 Devin that, she would have told you you're full of bananas, but that it was everything, and then I needed to get married, and I was like that. It was very important, but no. Should have just done Bendy. Yes, Bendy. Yeah, that's what I would have done. But anyways, oops, this goes. That one. All right. How long have I been on? Oh, an hour and 13 minutes. Let's give myself 10 more minutes to see how many I can blast out. Love Bendy. Love her Instagram. Love what they do. Pretty cool. Ooh, yeah, this one right here. All coral. Look at that. Yum, yum. Make it look all nice. Make it look all fancy. Ooh. I'm about to open up a window. Your girl schwitzing. Oops. This is a really nice one. All natural coral. Branch coral, I believe it's called. Branch coral. And coral is not naturally shiny. As it ages, it tends to lose its glossiness, but you can rejuvenate it, I believe, with some sort of oil. However, I don't know what kind of oil. I can just tell you that oil. So there's that. Ugh. Just drop my phone. Okay. If you hear crying, my son's going to sleep now. We're not beating him. He just sounds like someone's murdering him. He's just going to take a nap. And when it's a barrel clasp, I usually unsheath the barrel here, and I take a picture of it. Yes, it is. It has my succulents in it. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. I also have Hershey's, an old Hershey's tin. Stinky little boy. And Butterfinger. Moderate. Huh.
I want to say hi, Mommy.
I know, we'll do mineral oil. Feel so upset since this whole thing happened. His mom passed away. Oh, yeah. I know what you mean. I understand. I'm sorry. Yeah, this whole thing has really brought to light a lot of stuff. 2020 can't end any faster. Hey, did your phone go up? No, Mom, it didn't. It's right here. Why, did you text me or call me or something? It didn't go off. Got an 800 number calling. It's just a telemarketer. Do you need me to call you? I was only going to be on for a couple more minutes. I'll call you right after this one. Liquid silver is another really good one that sells. Depending. I've happened to get a lot of liquid silver that in fact is not liquid silver. So always be sure to test everything, even if it may. No, all our phones went off. Mandatory stay at home. Yeah, that happened to me last week. I got like an Amber Alert notification. And it just basically said, hey, stay at home. Last week. Me too. So I know, it's kind of controversial, but, this whole reselling has really helped with my family in between. So it's really, really, really been helping. Yeah, so that was last week. Scared the dickens out of me. Happened to Elijah too. Happened to Elijah too at his work. Because they hadn't closed off. They hadn't closed off the county. Well, they just did. Hopefully. Yeah, I know. It scared me too. I think it goes off counties, Lynn. Because I got mine, I want to say a week ago. And my mom, she's in Napa County? I'm not certain. So you may just be in a certain group. Maybe you'll get one. Yeah. We have, I don't know what ours is, but I don't think we can have anyone. Sonoma County? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I just know you're close to Napa, so I just went ahead and guessed. Oh, my bad. All right. Jesus, take the wheel. Taking a picture of my stuff. How tall is my necklace, Dan? That's a good question. Got my handy dandy ruler here. So about a foot. About a foot. About a foot long. I like this one. I got it from my mama. You got it, Mom. Could you still live your life? Could you still live your life barefoot? How would your day-to-day change if shoes disappeared? I don't really know. I mean, not a lot for me. I mean, I don't know if this is a real life question or not, but not much because I'm at home all the time. I do actually think I have a bruise on my foot because I stepped on one of my kids' toys and I feel it in my soul.
Grinch.
Dad's gonna put on the Grinch?
Yeah.
It's a classic show. It's a good movie.
What?
The cartoon one?
No. Daddy's gonna be a Grinch.
Oh, Dad's gonna be Grinch?
Yes.
Well, I live in California, so I don't get snow over here. Well, I don't get snow where I am. How for that shoes?
It is no. It's no. And it's something in your shirt.
Yeah, it's called your hand.
Mama.
Mama.
It's not a Grinch costume.
Not a Grinch costume?
That's a bee.
It's a beef. Who's got beef?
It's a beef.
A thief? The Grinch is a thief. But then his heart grew because of Susie Lou Who.
Huh? You see that who?
Yeah.
It's not a you see that who.
Okay.
That's a ticuna. That's ticuna.
What do you want?
Cup.
A cup? Sure. All right, guys, I've been on here for an hour and 23 minutes. I want to take the time to thank everyone for hanging out with me today. I'm going to finish, let everyone, could you put that back? Live their lives to the fullest. Cindy Lou Who? What did I say? Susie Lou Who? Cindy Lou Who? I don't remember her name. I got to watch the movie. It's been some time. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Hope I helped you be a little bit more motivated than you were before. I'll see you in the next one, guys.